Guys, day 27 of the 100-day video challenge. And today I wanted to talk about something that's very important to me, which is when we go into that place where we are totally at peace and that we go with the flow and we go with the ease and it's kind of easy. What happens when we then default and go back into the hard work, or we see that other people are kind of doing really well with whether it's business or career or whatever, and we see that they're working really hard and we go, oh, maybe I just need to go back to doing that kind of stuff. This does happen not only to me but to a lot of clients as well, where we're so happy to go with the flow. We're listening to the inner guidance, we're listening to our spiritual teams, we're following and living life guided, living by the universal laws, and everything's flowing really well. But something might catch our eye, which we'll see someone's doing or someone's successful by following a certain system, or someone's achieving something, and then we go into, well, I'm not working that hard, and yes, it's like kind of easy, but maybe I could get a bit more by following someone else's system or someone else's program, or it's really easy to fall back into that default. And I was talking to a client about that today, about falling back into the default and, shifting out of living in the now and processing, what the future holds and all that kind of stuff. Because I do teach this universal process of living in the now, that time doesn't exist, and this is the only time it exists. If we want to create a future, we create it from what we think and do right in this very moment. But it's very, very easy to fall back into a default. The reason why we fall back into old habits, old thinking, even though we know what the truth is, it's very easy to fall back into it because we are programmed from when we are born, and maybe even before we were born. We've been programmed with patterns, beliefs, thought processes that our ancestors have carried on, that our parents have carried, that our siblings, that humanity has carried through. We just follow those patterns over time, which then becomes our default. And so whenever we doubt ourselves, whenever things do appear to be easy and we're looking for a challenge, we then go into, oh, maybe I should go back to things being hard or difficult, and again, looking outside of myself for whatever I'm needing. So as I was talking about that today, I was really going into, when we are in the flow, when we are, going within and things are starting to work, like how do we escape from falling into the trap of going back into old habits, going back into old programming and old patterns? And the thing that came up when we were talking was that the way that we can manage our way of being is really connecting to the fact that our being is very internal. So when we are connected to our being and our soul purpose, we are connected internally to who we really are. So what you would probably call it is internal fulfillment. Then let's go back to the old programming, which has been going on for generations, which we were then trying to create external fulfillment. So if we look at external fulfillment or external achievement, it was, okay, so what, it starts from when you're younger, walking and starting to walk, that's an achievement and then from each bit, you're always trying to achieve something to then create a level of internal fulfillment. what happens each time we achieve something? Yes, we can celebrate for 5 minutes, but then we're looking for the next achievement, because that is the way we've been taught. You've always got to strive for more. You've always got to be working towards something. And what that does, it is actually a benefit to us to always be achieving and wanting more, because then what happens is it keeps us motivated to keep achieving and wanting more. As we go along, what happens is that each time you achieve something, again, you celebrate for 5 minutes, then you're missing that internal fulfillment, and then you look for something else to cover up for it or to counteract for that internal fulfillment. What then happens is a pattern appears where it's constantly looking for the next thing to make us feel better, the next thing to make us appear to ourselves that we're valuable, that we're worthy. And again, we'll keep striving. And that in the past has been an asset, because it kept us busy. It kept us working hard. It kept us being motivated. But can you see, as we now connect to wanting to live a life where we're internally fulfilled, and that we're living with flow and ease, and with our soul purpose, what happens is we are taken away then from the external fulfillments and creating an internal fulfillment or level of internal fulfillment where we're not looking external to ourselves. And that's where we are operating from a place of pure alignment, soul purpose, or that kind of thing. So if we then revert back to, oh, maybe I do want something else, or maybe I do need something else, that is just the old programming that's popping up. And what I was connecting to when we were talking was that the being, like when we're in the being of our soul being and our soul purpose, and that we are living from that place within each moment, what happens is that the universe then creates the next moment of perfect being, and it'll keep bringing things to you rather than you going and getting it. So think about, again, the old ways. You go out and get it. You go out and get the thing. Again, there's effort, there's hard work. And again, if you love that, go for it. It's all cool. But if you don't love that and you're looking for something a little bit easier, this is the way that you can get what you want without slogging your guts out, or keeping on looking for the external fulfillment. And it could be in the place of cars, houses, gifts, experiences. And then, of course, you go into the drugs and alcohol and all that kind of thing to make you feel better. But in actual fact, it's always looking for the next level of fulfillment. What's going to make me feel better next? So if you're sick of that needing things to make you feel better, I do ask you to consider internal fulfillment. Internal fulfillment is an amazing connection with your soul, which when you bring this level of internal fulfillment within, what then happens is that the universe will then bring you internal fulfillment in the next second and the next second, because it just mirrors what's going on in this current second within you and brings that into your future in the next second. So this is where, when we have internal fulfillment, our next second actually will be bringing things into us that will mirror that internal fulfillment. So we will be fulfilled internally in the next second and the next second, and we won't be searching for something to make us feel better. We will already feel better. But what happens if we keep then reverting back to, I need a challenge, I need something to make me feel, I need something external. And sometimes we do revert back to that old patterning because it's programming that we have been told to do. And what we then connected to is being the example of the internal fulfillment is actually the thing that's going to shift the planet. So if we can maybe if we're wanting or needing to expand our purpose to achieve or what have you. What we can do is we can go within and be more internally fulfilled. What then happens is law of attraction, that will then extend out energetically to everyone around us, and they will actually benefit from your internal fulfillment. And then what happens when they take on that energy of internal fulfillment and maybe just a little bit of awareness or information around how they can create a level of internal fulfillment, what then will happen is the people around them will have a level of internal fulfillment. So when we are, especially if you're in an entrepreneur or you're in a level of business, but also if you have a family or children, this is a great way for us to spread the good stuff out there, is simply by being the example of being internally fulfilled, which will then help to teach others how they can be internally fulfilled, which will then stop them from seeking things external to them, which could not only keep them unhappy because they're still looking for that next thing to make them feel better, but also it'll make them connect to who they really are and to live their life that is an alignment with who they are. So they're not living a lie. They're not, doing the job just for the money. They're not slogging their guts out because they think they have to. There's a lot of examples of all of us out there that are living lives that we just don't want to live. And you know what? If you're living the life that you want to live, that is awesome. Like, I'm so excited for you. But if you're not, this is for the message to you guys who aren't, happy. If you're not happy, or if you find yourself, you are looking external for things to make you feel better, there is internal fulfillment that is possible, that will not only stop you from having to look that side of yourself to make you feel happy, but also bring you everything that you could ever want, simply by you connecting to who you really are and connecting to your soul purpose and to you as a powerful soul in the universe. Because when you connect more with that and you go on a deeper level, which is what I love doing, I love working with people on a really deep spiritual level. It's actually crazy good. It's really fun. I think most of my clients, if not all my clients, really enjoy the process of connecting to who they really are on a really deeper soul level. But what happens is you then not only change your own life to be internally fulfilled, but you then change everyone else's life around you. And if everyone could do that on a planetary level, that's where we will all be internally fulfilled, and then the earth will represent that as well, and things will start to shift on a planetary or a universal level. Maybe I'm thinking too big picture, but this is what I've been shown. And this is pretty much how the world's going to work from now on. So when we are really following our purpose and we're following the guidance that we're getting on a daily basis, we really are living from a place of being. And if you follow the concept of be, do, have, when you be who you really are, and then you do what you're guided to do, you will have whatever you want. This is reality. It's not some crazy concept, because, everyone that I work with, and even myself, have come across experiences where we don't even if we don't want for anything, we're simply just happy in the now. The universe brings us more things that we can be happy with in the next moment, and we can really have the life that we want and really enjoy what we're doing in that moment, simply by following this process. So if you do want to do more work on that, do maybe some really deeper soul work to connect to who you are, to bring that inner fulfillment when you're sick of looking for external fulfillment. But also, if you do have that internal fulfillment, but you keep deviating and defaulting into old programming, message me or whatever, because I love working on all those levels. Love doing really deep spiritual work. We are all spiritual beings in a body. And what I've been working on this week is really connecting the spirit and the body together to get them to work a lot closer together, which is an amazing awareness that I've had as well. And I'll share a little bit more on that as well. But if I can just share with you guys, you know, especially if you're looking for external fulfillment, you will never, ever 100% be happy until you can go within and connect to yourself as a soul. This is where, you know, people who can make millions and millions of dollars, they can still be unhappy because they're not connecting to who they really are. And money doesn't mean anything to them at that time. But then again, if you don't have the money, you think it's the money that you want. And again, that's not going to bring you the thing that you want. The thing that you're actually seeking is for you to remember who you really are and for you to connect to yourself on a deeper spiritual level. And that's the most amazing experience that you can ever have as a soul in a body on the planet. So I'd love to hear from you guys as to where you are. And if you need any help with that, I'm more than happy to help you guys out. And I will see you tomorrow.